Hello and welcome to this Keynote tutorial. In this Keynote, you are going to learn how to add a chart or a graph. You can see I already have my title screen done, and I've created a background in here myself by drawing it in Sketches Schools. Then I talked about where I'm going on vacation, and now my third slide, I want to put a chart or a graph here. I'm going to use a bar graph about my presence. Let's get started. So I'm going to go to add up in the right hand corner, and you can see I could add a table, I could add a graph, I could add shapes, or I could add an image. Today I'm going to be adding a graph. I'm just going to choose one of these bar graphs, and once I click on it, it looks like I'm already finished. But actually this is not my data yet. I can see that I have something selected because it has a blue box around it. So let me select my graph one more time. Maybe I'll have to double click until you see the option of tools. I'm going to edit my data. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to keep track of my presence. And I'm going to start from when I was born in 1984. That year, I only got 5 presents. Then 10 years later, I got 10 presents. And even 5 felt like a lot. Imagine I was just a baby. Then 10. Then in 2004, I got 15 presents. And in 2014, 10 years later, I got, go ahead and guess, 20 presents. You can see that I'm inventing that for a pattern. I wonder how many presents I would get in 2024. I'm going to leave that blank because I actually don't know yet. Here's my presents line, and I actually have an extra one that says Region 2. I don't need that, so I'm going to click on it, and one more time click on it until I see my option to delete it. Let's see how my data looks now. Great. Now my chart for this bar graph is done. Now you might be thinking, where's your title, Miss Ashley? Where's your X and Y axis title? So once you finish your data, you're going to go back in to it and not edit the data again. If you wanted to change it, you could, but I'm going to style it. Look in your top right hand corner here and look for the icon that looks like you're going to decorate or style it. That is the paintbrush. When I click on the paintbrush, it shows me I could change the color. I'm going to go with green since I'm doing a holiday season. And then I can do some options. Here's title, and sometimes when I'm learning new programs, I just click on them and see what happens. Oh, here I can see that I have a title now. A legend is the same as a key. It's going to show me green is presents. I can also look at my, oops, not that one, reference lines, which I don't really want to use. So I can just click on whatever I want to here. But let's move on to style here. Some things you might want to do is make the font smaller or larger, or even change the type. This is the font. I'm going to choose that font. Then here it says value y-axis. I have that on, and I want the axis name on. Now I can see that my y-axis will have to get labeled, and I would probably label that number of presents. Then I have my x-axis. I want to turn that on too, and I might say here, years. On the very bottom, it says series value. Now I can look at the bar graph and see that this is 5 in 1984. In 1994, it's 10. I could also add that number by selecting here. I'm going to add mine to the middle. So you can play around in here as well. In data, there's not much that you need to do. So don't have to click that. And in arrange, if you want to move it to the back or the front of the page, you can do that. So the main ones I used here was chart and style. Now let's look at my graph. I still need to change the name of this. So value axis, I'm going to double click on it. And this is number of presents. And on the bottom, this is the years. I need a title, and then this thing is kind of in the way. So if I click on that, wonder if I can move it. Yep, I can click and move. So the green means presents. My title is going to be presents per year. also have another title here, so if I didn't want, I could turn that one off. Now I have a bar graph on my Keynote to tell about the presents I've had every year. I wonder what kind of bar graph or you will make.